only one of 301 survived the initial blast, and what he saw was horrific. Flames engulfed the tunnels, trapping men inside. The air was toxic, the heat unbearable. But here's what nobody noticed: the mine safety records were falsified. What they found next changed everything. The mine's owner, Alp Gurkin, had been warned about the dangers, but he did nothing. The truth was far worse. 301 men were burned alive, and it was no accident. But that was only the beginning. The investigation would reveal a web of corruption and negligence that went all the way to the top. The SOMA mine had a history of accidents, but the owners kept it under wraps. In 2010, a report by the Turkish government warned of imminent disaster. But the mine's owners, the Gurkin family, silenced the whistleblowers. They were wrong to think they could get away with it. The truth started to unravel when investigators discovered a pattern of negligence. What they found next was even more disturbing. The mine safety inspectors had been bribed to look the other way. The situation was dire, and it was about to get worse. The Gurkin family's empire was built on blood money, and they would stop at nothing to keep it that way. On the day of the disaster, the miners were unaware of the danger lurking beneath their feet. The mine's ventilation system was faulty, and the air was toxic. At 3 p.m., the unthinkable happened. A spark ignited the coal, and the mine erupted in flames. The rescue efforts were hampered by the mine's owners, who tried to cover up the disaster. What they found next was shocking. The mine's emergency evacuation plan was non-existent. The miners were left to die, and the owners tried to shift the blame. But that was only the tip of the iceberg. The investigation would reveal a shocking truth, one that would change everything. The investigation into the SOMA mining disaster revealed a shocking truth. The mine's owners had been warned about the dangers, but they chose to ignore them. The safety inspectors had been bribed, and the ventilation system was faulty. The disaster was no accident, it was a catastrophe waiting to happen. What they found next was unbelievable. The Gurkin family had made $0.3 million in profits from the mine in the year leading up to the disaster. The cost of human life was irrelevant to them. The truth was far worse than anyone could have imagined. The SOMA mining disaster was a man-made tragedy, one that could have been prevented. The SOMA mining disaster was a wake-up call for the world. It showed us that greed can have devastating consequences. The Gurkin family's empire was built on blood money, and it was time for justice to be served. The lesson from SOMA is clear: human life is priceless, and those who put profits over people will be held accountable. As we close this case, we are left with a haunting question: how many more SOMAs are waiting to happen? The answer lies in the darkness of the mines, where the truth is still hidden. Join us next time as we uncover another shocking story, and remember, the truth is always hidden in the darkest corners. Subscribe for a new dark truth every day.